What happened last night?
Hey.
The seventh film.
Oh, okay. That's the one that had everyone upset because it was like really like not. It didn't have a very good conclusion. How about the girl who jumped in time?
You didn't direct that one.
He didn't direct that one.
Yes.
Sure.
Easy piece.
I mean,
search up. I'm trying to search up on because it wasn't.
What's that?
Is
Yes.
some of them is she actually wrote. So I mean,
Daniel, the straw's broken. What are you going to do?
Stick your tongue in it.
there's another Your Name
Did
book
not
as well.
last. Chipper.
Interesting. So basically, I think his biggest films he actually wrote his books before he made them.
Oh, it's Mamoru Hosoda.
Okay, right, so
Or maybe he released the same
we've
year.
got us four, and we got Humphrey, and we got Coral.
Oh, my mistake.
And Johnny.
The
No,
guy who
Simon
did,
was involved. I mentioned Simon.
Simon, the girl who left the time did Boy and the Beast.
John and Simon.
That's
I
good.
don't know.
Right, well, we need you to
What's up?
come in.
I mean, in the privacy of my own room.
I'll bring the mask.
Mask in tape.
Mask
Alright.
and tape.
Am I in or where am I?
I can see your hand, so I guess just use it like a sock puppet.
I'm Simon.
I really like this one.
Are we live yet? Yeah, we're live. Yeah.
I think we're live.
Oh,
and
we're live.
I think my crotch is also.
I literally just said on camera, like,
Yeah.
didn't realise.
Oh,
When the wait
Okay,
be like good.
Okay, we're gonna. This goes on for like hours, so I don't understand. You
I'm not saying that.
You said that. Oh, okay. That's good.
No, I know that.
Like this.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're live. I wouldn't wear that if I were you.
on Studio F.
Yeah, that's right.
So
This
this
is
is
where
question.
done appeals.
Can anyone hear us?
I think everyone can hear us and everyone can see my crotch front and center.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, we like it coming up.
No, that's fine. I can just stay as it is. I think you guys are creating a bit of an optical illusion.
Oh yeah, that's
We're not reviewing the thing.
we are reviewing every month.
Okay, so welcome to our 101st Film Club pick.
This has happened.
Yeah, Alex is completely taken over. I'm taking charge. Fuck you. Yeah, everyone's looking at my crotch. They're looking at your crotch now. What we have to do is we all say it at once. Okay, 3, 2, no.
Your name is?
So the 100. Okay, well, if Rob wants to fucking go right ahead, then.
Why'd you pick this film, Emmanuel?
No, you need to say welcome. And in conclusion, it's 101st. It's Emmanuel Stag do. Because the 100th one was a shit thing.
Oh.
Hello, people eating
Oh,
that.
man. Well,
Okay, no, hang on. We're going to interrupted the man on his way.
Yeah. Silence.
Emmanuel, why'd you pick this fucking master?
I mean, that's subjective. But
No, it's
not.
I picked this film mainly because
Did you have to pick a film?
Stop throwing him off.
there was that. But considering like what's coming up and everything, and it was a film both me and Phyllis saw and really loved. But neither of us got a chance to actually see it on the big screen. And I thought that would be awesome. And it's also kind of a sweet story. Like two people trying to find each other, like connecting to each other. Like, yeah, I like to pick this film.
They say you and Camilla never got a chance to see it on the big screen, so you picked the one event this week where she also gets to see it.
I'm not allowed to see it on the web, so I'm going to go watch it. If you're ever struggling with romance, this is your guy.
Originally, she was gonna come as well, but things happened.
We're getting married, you know. By the way.
Things happen.
But yeah, it just yeah. has feels.
Pat, why'd you hate it?
Yeah, Pat. Why are you putting all the pressure on?
Well, you gave it the lowest score, so I want to know why you hate it. Did he give it the lowest score?
Yeah,
Yeah. He hated it more than you, and he doesn't even watch anime.
I think Pat's not very fair.
That was very fair.
I don't know.
I gave production a score.
Well, you
And
keep
acting
saying that, but you never told me the number.
It's 9.
Tell me the number.
Production got a 9. Acting got an 8.
Oh,
9 is German for no, though, so
Production.
that's why I was like, 9. Nothing.
In around.
John, would you like to inform us about why anime fans hate this?
No, I didn't say anime fans.
I think that's what you said.
No, I said, first of all, you
No.
keep saying, hey, I just didn't
Well,
like I personally found it very tropey, very front of the mill, like baby's first anime. I found it quite boring.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the
agree with
concept, I just don't think they executed very well, which is why I think it's a series rather than pacing better. I feel like the pacing was really rough.
Objection.
I love the
Thanks,
place.
James.
So you want to
Speculation.
Yes, pacing, yeah.
Okay, cool. cool.
Because I like the characters, and I like the concept. of the story. I
Yes,
just
I-
didn't grip with it. I was just like even the bit at the end was like, okay, well, she's gonna open her hand now. Okay, I love you. Thanks. And it's like,
That's what. Right. Oh my goodness.
Right, since you two are so busy
not,
fucking
not
chattering, it will be fucking carrying over. Coral, I noticed you going
really good stuff.
a lot, so
Yeah.
what was your thoughts on the pacing?
Oh, I thought it was brilliant. I think if it was a series, I don't think it would be great. No offense, I'm sorry. But I'm not sorry, sorry. But
Don't make eye contact with him if you don't want to.
My dog sex on the beat.
be behind the glass. No. I thought the fact that it was condensed, I thought it just gave it more feeling, if that makes sense. Like, I just thought it was a beautiful story, to be honest with you. I thought visually it was absolutely stunning. I actually quite liked the voice actors. I thought it had a really nice pace. I thought the story and the little twist in the middle, I thought that was quite clever the way they did that. I didn't really think still in my drink. Oh god, yeah. Sugar.
Jeez.
If you didn't see that, there was a fly in my drink. I'm not saying it to a ghost, but yeah.
You have to explain that.
Yeah, now,
No,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I need to give a commentary, you know.
well, then,
No, I just
Like-
thought it was really well done.
For anyone at home, that was a fly.
I
and
think
nothing
it's
but a
another one.
No, I thought it was really well done. I thought it was
How
well
early on
paced.
did I say, oh,
Well,
it's
it's
not
a good
then
story,
say
to be
that.
honest. I couldn't really find
And then I
that
was just like,
much of a fault in it.
Yep.
Right, Simon,
quite
I can feel your aura wanting to.
No, I'm just listening to everyone speaking.
Oh no, it's okay.
his chakras are penetrating.
I could feel it because you were leaning into the cushion behind.
Am I bringing down you?
Yeah,
Kind
go
of add on what you were saying. I think it's one of those ones that it works well for a lot of people who haven't seen a lot.
Yeah.
But if you've seen a lot, it can play into a lot of things. So it then isn't new or fresh. It's just very well done stuff that's been done before.
That's the thing, like, that's the problem I have a lot of it. Because I think I'm just too to like things use too many tropes. Samey and boring.
taking a drink break. That's fine.
What's he got?
Very much.
Thank you.
Pepperoni.
Thank you.
Thank you.
They're always this.
I knew it was fine.
I actually genuinely feel quite bad.
I was looking at you, I was just like,
Jar.
It's actually streaming live.
YouTube. Oh yeah, but you can.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. After, no, I just actually genuinely took my back. Like, unintentional.
Yeah, definitely.
It does.
Yeah. But yeah, what were you gonna finish saying?
You ruined the moment.
No. I stopped speaking, and then I think he was interrogated.
Oh no, that's all right.
Oh,
This
okay.
interrogation doesn't mean anything. I'm not official.
Yeah, I think I was just saying, it's like, because I know that's I never know if you're joking. Like whenever I'm like, oh, I saw that comment, I enjoyed it. Never like a ha ha ha, I win. Like it's just genuinely. I think it was like all the Vanguard read those things. So many tropes that are just in my head. Like,
The
and
red
I think
thread
it's
of fate.
partly that it like does shit. So I'll see it, and then sometimes there are exceptions. Like I see something coming like just the first series of Westworld. I saw most of that coming, but I still. But with a lot of movies, it's just like kind of ruin the moment there.
I think just for me, like feeling too like when something was predicted is like inherently a bad
It's
thing.
not.
Like I think
It's not.
I think like it does point at something being like well set up. Yeah, like well constructed. So I don't tend to appeal to it was predictable because I predicted it. It was like, oh, this was really well set up. Like that sort of stuff. So if I predicted something happening, generally I would shit that very much happen. But
Carry on.
that really fucking derailed me. That was a wonderful tactic.
It's Rob's drone cam. Don't get it. So, no, but like when I say something, I don't mean that as a self. I just think for me personally, 9 times out of 10, if I find like a story or a predict, if I find that I'm going in or we're posting it ruins lead up to it, like you're already thinking about it and then build up the tension kind of on. But there are some things that still manage to that tension high despite the fact that you were expecting it to come, and that's just
I think this comes out of like how we watch these because
Yeah.
like you generally go for the one shot. You don't like spoilers, whereas I like seek spoilers out, and I like watching these and I like rewatching these, and I get like a new dimension of enjoyment out of watching these, knowing what's coming, and then seeing how well that's set up. Like that's kind of my enjoyment factor of it.
Yeah.
So this going. So there's one little bit like right at the beginning that I don't think is that that bit where because like it's that first scene where they've done the body swap and he's like, you know,
Yeah.
obviously he's you know he's kind of going like, oh no, I've got fucking boobs, like, and, you know, it happens to all of us. But,
you'll get older too, kid.
but then it immediately cuts to her just talking to him like normally, and I was like, the first time I watched it, I was like, hang on, is this a body swap or is this not a body swap? You've done a really good job of showing me it's a body swap, but now you're showing me contradictory information. So what's going on? And they don't
Yeah,
like
they jump ahead in
they don't
time.
do a significant cut. So I was like, hang on, when did
Yeah, I
that
will agree
stop?
with that. I will agree with that.
But watching it, you know, obviously, like watching it again, you get you know what's happening, but I don't know if that was like as effectively done. But equally, I wonder if that was on purpose. So you're going, hang on, that doesn't marry up. What the fuck's happening?
It's definitely
Yeah,
and you
is
start
that
watching
purpose to disorientate you?
That's the whole point. Like, because
Yeah.
like personally, I actually don't think it's that big. And when you're at the bit where it's like, oh, it's a body swap, and then when it cut off, I was like, okay, well now it's back to like this is gonna keep happening. We'll see the change. But even if you see it that way, like definitely, like you said, it's very disorientating. You're trying to work out whether it really is a body swap. Like what's going on. Like,
Yeah.
And like what you're saying, obviously, we watch movies a very different way. But if I watch something first time for free and enjoy it, I still then like watch it again, like not immediately, but I'll get the same thing that you're saying, like mentioned. It's just if I watch something first time and I'm not like gripped by it, like I'd still give it another chance. That's like a big difference.
Yeah, so that's where the big interest for me is, knowing how well it's done.
Yeah, which is why we disagree so much. It's like,
Yeah.
but that's the joy of watching movies, like any media. But because you're looking for something different. not even just different elements, but how approach each element. So that's why like you could be like, oh, that was great, and I'll be like, shit, and vice versa.
But like with my approach now, I'm kind of at a point where I'm going, wait a minute, is the choice to not show like a clear differentiation between those cuts? Is that shut the fuck up? As if you needed more material for being puzzle not not showing those cuts. Was that intentional? Because like if you look at the stuff like the production and they're going to these lengths to show like literal like just water drips from rain, and every single one is animated in detail. She like falls down like a little like a slide thing, and like it like does like a little kicks up a little dust under the wall. Like, I don't know if that wasn't intentional now, because that kind of makes you go, hang on, what is happening? And you kind of are sitting up, you are kind of now trying to pay attention. You're like, hang on, what the fuck?
Yeah, I think
Did I miss something? And I wonder if that's now intentional.
as far as I'm concerned, it's like 100 and
Yeah.
exactly scale. It's supposed to bring you closer to the screen and be like, wait, what? And then
Yeah.
it gets you thinking more about it, which is how they then are trying to trap you into the idea of that it's a normal body swap, and then basically time travel.
Yeah.
And then they hit you. Well, technically they hit you with the death thing first, notice it, but then the time travel thing, and then they further it. So like they wanted to focus on each element of it. At
Each element
point.
of the wasp.
It's a bit.
That's a
Um,
ghost stuff.
yeah, they want you to focus on each element as they introduce it so that you don't see the next one coming, which I think is entirely intentional. But again, because of the way that I consider stuff, I was just like, okay.
Can I just say, knowing that Ikamori doesn't exist anymore, that's where the film kind of like just kicks into gear for me. I was like, that is such a change of what.
Did you also notice the
I think-
shape of it?
Yeah, so it's still gone from being like a lake to a double, it's like an 8. Kind of-
Yeah, exactly. The infinity symbol. Yeah, that's what I thought that was quite clever.
Oh yeah, true. I didn't think
As soon as I saw it, I was like, yeah, okay.
Because of where I was sitting, I kind of saw everyone sort of react to it a bit. I could see people kind of moving as that kind of happened. It was like, oh well. Okay. Obviously, I heard these two murmur at each other. 'Cause they always do.
They never stop.
But it was like that's such a change in what you understand the film to be.
Yeah,
It's
and
like,
when
that is-
films
It's
do,
very effective.
so many films try and do like a twist, but it's just like a little tiny revelation, something that didn't have. But when, like again, regardless of how I felt about it personally, yeah, like objective, when you can do twists in such a way that it makes you actually change everything. Not only does it make you towards what's coming, the whole time you're watching it forward, thinking backwards as well about what's happened, how we got there, like different things, have that intention. It's good.
I think that's probably it's just like the economy is still like so tight, like what you're saying, how it starts where kind of like explore and like kind of like in the mirror and stuff. And, like it takes like hardly any time back. It feels like such a drawn out thing to do so much.
But it is
And I think
because
it's like that.
how condensed everything possible, how jumps on thing. Once you look at the film as a whole, that actual section is very long. Like from him starting there to standing up and dropping. That's actually I'd like to actually see the like runtime scene like, without cuts and see how that compares to that. But when you see it on its own, it's like okay. When you compare it to the rest of apart from obviously like the series, that's actually a significant kind of
But I just it's a lot bigger than that. Like there's I don't think any wasted like every little piece. So, and like because I mean just me sort of like estimating 2 hours. Like I don't estimate how time. It's like so much yeah, I just I don't know, man. The way that it kind of starts, I kind of got to a point where maybe like half an hour in, where I was kind of going like, this is a bit of cheese, sure. And then it just kind of like flips into, and you've got the whole thing about like, kind of like, it just introduces like this stuff about loss. It's just like, It's a bit like it's really different. I don't know you do this every like it's really difficult to talk about it having just watched it because I'm still like unpacking how I feel about it.
Yeah, that's why I like doing it.
I think that's like the production as well. Like there's so much work going into the production, and you kind of you're hearing everything and you're feeling everything, and it feels like a real world. And it's like when he's walking through the subway, you're walking through the subway, and like when he's on the train, you're in the train. And there was a point where like characters, people were walking behind the character, and I could hear like crackling, and I thought you were talking about the popcorn. And I was like, fuck, no, they took the time to add that in. It's the gravel moving underneath these people's shoes, and I'm like, man, that's so much
Which is
attention.
also why if you don't have like a stereo system set up, what movies like headset on, you get that experience.
Yeah,
of, like
it's the closest.
But one of the talking about the production, so like they used a very unique specific voice when it was about
Bell?
Bell?
Every time
No,
they
no,
cross paths.
There was no.
Oh, not that
When
one.
the comet's about to go, they used a
Yeah,
very
it's like a
specific
sword.
noise.
Almost.
Oh,
Kind of, yeah. It was a
it
mix
was
of
a
like
gong.
several noises.
It was a gong. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's more to it than just that. Not
Related
just
to
the
the
gong.
sword.
But they used that I think twice. And what I liked is two things when it hit last time. One, two. As soon as it hit, the first thing I was doing was at everything that came up, and it was like, there's buildings, there's roads and stuff, there's people that like, and that's clearly intentional. They're showing you the destruction. You're like, right foot. Obviously, it depends on how you view it. If you're just watching one of
Yeah. Nice, so good.
Yeah.
Another Guinness.
Say hello to the camera.
Yeah, so
Hi.
Brilliant.
What is we should ask what you Right, Simon, I can feel you behind me somehow. I'm gonna chime in.
Okay, so
Oh, sorry.
That's right, I went that.
You stopped talking.
Yeah, because he came and was asking us things. And everyone was
Oh,
looking at it.
well,
Carry on,
yeah.
I'm not going to keep talking to myself while you're all going.
Well, Simon, what were you talking?
No.
yes, it was a gong, it was a bell, because it's the part of the dance where you see them stop doing the part where the actual dance explains the comment splitting off anyways.
Yeah,
And then
true.
obviously you've got
That's a good
the red ribbon of fame. Like,
Yes, very.
that anyone who's into like Japanese culture knows about that on its own.
Yes.
And yeah, just again like versions of it. See, there's no bodies, no nothing. So you're like, if you're paying attention to it, you mean but if you're just watching it, seeing the and then you have to wait to actually see the outcome.
Stories.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think one thing that is like max 10 out of 10 is just like how quiet it is, how like gentle it's
There was no like voice.
there was no voice.
It was not that type of.
Weren't playing Dead or Alive.
Sorry, what were you saying before I started the interruption? Oh, good. I'm free.
He's so rudely
Stop
interrupted,
talking to your
then so rudely
fucking
interrupted
lady.
when I actually
Just
said
say
saying
things.
Oh, man.
and he's doing it again.
Get started.
But one of the things.
Man,
that-
what were you not on camera?
one of the things that so as you probably know, like I don't tend to like watching films.
Wait, what?
But yeah, it's rare that I watch a film twice unless I'm made to.
Oh,
I'm the only one that
technically you work for.
But this was one of the few occasions where, and maybe it's because it's in a different format, but even though I've seen it, even though I knew it was gonna happen, I still got those same feels and those same kind of like, even though I knew they were gonna be all right and it was gonna be saved, it's still like I can still like I don't know, those feelings kind of come across the screen.
I
You know, what
would
is
put that down to like where you're in cinema, you're getting those music stings.
Yeah.
Like even though you know it's coming, you can't help the emotional punch you get from music. Right?
Yeah.
Like when it rises up, it's supposed to raise your heart rate and stuff like that, and when it's made slow, it's supposed to calm you down. Like designed that way, so that's why. Even though you know what's going to happen, you're still getting that response.
I do think like for a first viewing, I'm really happy, and I'm glad it was in the private cinema.
Yeah. Rather than murmuring about.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
rather than having somebody go,
Yeah, it's
he's left his
really
phone on every time there was a phone sound.
So bad people are murmuring.
Oh, that was fun.
I will
Coral's never murmured in her life.
I didn't
She just
murmur.
screamed
I
at
was
me.
doing hand gestures like.
Look, what you two do in the cinema on your own is your business.
I thought Fantasia was going on. You
No, I was just like.
That's how
I
Dangle's
was like,
been in the first
please
place.
don't
Just one
leave
head
me on a cliffhanger. That's what I was doing. Just don't leave me on a cliffhanger.
Do you know, my favourite bit.
Oh no, it's Spider-Man. I cried. Because
No,
I was just. I
guys,
actually
we're not talking
cried.
about Spider-Man. We're trying to,
Okay, well, with the film when I was doing.
no,
my
we're trying to
hand
engage you in conversation.
my hand pockets. Hello, everybody.
No,
I was
no.
doing hand pockets, and I was like, "Fuck yeah," and all that kind of stuff.
No.
You've
No,
been
no.
demonetized.
No.
Fudge, yeah, fudge.
Alex,
Rob's
Alex.
trying to engage.
this isn't how you deal with it. You do this wrong. Carry on.
My favourite part of it was when there was a bit where like the screen faded to black, and I was kind of sat there like, and then you just went, "Oh shit!"
That's probably because you thought you was going to
My alarm. For some reason, I feel like I turned my alarm off.
Oh,
and
yeah,
my
that's
alarm is to the music I listen to, which is
That's
very
the thing,
loud.
I could hear the vibration. I was like, "That's great." And then I heard you go, "Oh shit!" And then I heard music start. I was like, "No, that's not that."
Yeah.
What was your alarm set for this time?
No, I don't. 'Cause
Just
I
in
take
case you didn't wake
medication,
up.
So
She
I take
needed, she
medication,
needed
so
to
when I
pretend
come
someone was
home
calling her so she could leave.
So you.
Yeah. Sorry, Simon. Your thoughts.
So, as in just general thoughts.
Yeah, what was something that stuck out? to you?
It's good. Okay, I mean, like I watched this film a lot already. Right? I watched this more than twice. I mean,
I've watched this so many times, more than twice.
He won't
Okay,
believe how
well,
many
no,
times
it's
I've
like,
watched
I-
this. This is my
first time this came out, I watched it on like pirated DVD, as you shouldn't do.
Oh, that's it. Cut the video.
Cut the video.
I'll be honest.
Okay, but you know, I watched it on pirated DVD.
He said it again.
Don't listen.
All right, no,
Al Cox.
Alex. I think the problem isn't that he thought you were going to do it. He thought you might accidentally.
I would have been so sorry. You wouldn't have-
like,
right.
every screen found the credit.
The moment film
Look at him, wait, I knew he was going to do it. I was like,
Anyway, sorry.
I just knew the story without knowing the quality of the pictures because the production, as everyone has rated it quite high. I think I understand, right?
It's in the Hall of Fame. Scored 9.6 overall across 9
Nice.
people.
That's
My
good,
first
that's
Hall of
good.
Fame.
So,
Yeah, I think it is actually. Yeah.
even when the production was bad because of it was still a good
Because of
story.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So
Even though the production was bad because of the pirate copy.
so the story was good anyways. Admittedly, there were certain parts that were predictable. I mean, even the first time I watched it, I was like, yeah, he did write his name down. He wrote, oh, you. It's like, it's so cheesy, but it hit you still.
Yeah, really.
It's still got you there.
The feels.
But even the production was because of the situation.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Enjoy.
The story was still good, and because the story captivated, that it, you know, it kept me watching, even if. Okay. Now, then after this, you guys, how did you guys say about the acting, right, or the voice acting in this case, right? So it was like, yeah, the characters were there. I feel like certain things were a bit. There were lines that were a bit cheesy in the dialogue, I guess, like when they meet.
right, but they're appropriate for the purpose they want. Cheesy is fine if it's pretending to do. Bad cheesy is when they're trying to be like genuine and it comes off as cheesy. Whereas I think they wanted it.
Okay, I guess.
They're like they're young. They don't know anything.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, I get that. But you gotta say, it's a Toku Shinkai film and all the anime films, you gotta love every time there's food in anime, right? It's always better than real life.
Oh yeah, it was like meat. Meat always looks better. Drink always looks
Can I just say that sake coming out of that lady's mouth? That looked better than anything at
Sake, it was just
Yeah.
rice.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was just fermented rice. It's not even sake yet. Yeah.
Yeah,
I must
Sorry, I'm
admit,
so
just saliva.
that's perfectly fine.
Look back straight to
Yeah,
such
I
about
must
mouth,
admit,
I was
seeing the
like,
pizza on screen while I was eating that
That's
pizza, I was like,
I was gonna say, right? Yeah.
well, that's the thing.
That in a
Not to interrupt you, one thing I find from like Asian or European films in general, like their love for food is much more apparent in their films than our films. Like in American
Asian,
films,
oh, European in general.
yeah, it's just like in American films, they never finish their meals. They never actually sit down and actually eat stuff. They just like take one bite and then they eat. It's like,
Isn't that a cliche for all films where they make a big breakfast and then they go, oh,
I'm gonna have one
some
piece of
juice.
toast.
oh
Okay,
yeah,
and
just
they go,
grab the toast and
exactly,
run.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's just a great.
You know why that is? Though?
Why?
It's because in like American, the meal isn't part of the story.
Yeah, I know.
It's like
It's like
it's a means to an
and
end. It's
another
just a scene. Whereas
whereas in
when they're
It's
doing
always
stuff like that,
this.
it's part of the actual
On the
story.
table.
yeah, which is a shame.
In
What?
American films, always this on the table.
Breakfast?
Always.
One bit of breakfast.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Man, I have
About
bad
breakfast.
acid after that.
what's that about the food? About the end of the day, so it blends again.
Oh,
sure, okay. That was
yeah.
different. I think.
So.
He takes, then he get like the drinks off the
Yeah,
the
raw
camera.
pizza.
Yeah,
He just puts it on the
Yeah,
thing,
the
drinks
blender
out like.
yeah, it's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, one
Oh,
thing I
this
will
is
say,
some good smoothie.
I didn't think of until now, like, until we started talking about the food.
Yeah.
The way that they show them taking food,
Yeah.
communicating by phone, that's actually really well done. I think
Yeah.
a lot of them, like, they use phones quite, like, in a kind of cool way.
Yeah, it's just like another like
Yeah.
eye, really. But it's
Yeah.
not like actually what your character is seeing rather than folks.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. A lot of other things, like they would have the camera screen would be the like raw vision,
Yeah.
rather than it being raw vision to the camera,
Yeah.
to the picture.
It's
Like,
what you want to see,
there's a
but-
distinct difference there. Like, it's very subtle, but doing it makes. But what you're saying now is why one of the reasons I like I like not putting having that means nothing. Either one of you, or while I'm talking about it out loud, but no, wait, hang on, actually, because if you had time to defend it, form your opinion is quite solid. I'm not saying like you're not subject to pain, but it's more solid than when you just watch it quite freely.
I think the thing for me, like, I think it's something that's like specific to this film in a way, because it's like, I don't know, I think like the event around it and like the film itself and just everything going on, like, it's like we feel like, and like, and now we're kind of like, now we're sitting here talking about it, and I'm just like, man, like, I don't know, like, I still haven't like.
Okay,
I still haven't processed the emotions.
let's
with
break
it.
it down. Did it give you feels?
It gave me lots of feels.
Did it give you feels to go? I feel like I can let tears drip out of my eyeballs.
Seriously, there was a moment where I could feel myself starting to cry, and I stopped myself. And then I was like, "Oh, it's a shame that I did that. There was no reason to do it." And then a few minutes later, the film went, "Don't worry about it, we've got you."
but most importantly, it's not that it gave you feels; it's that the feels were warranted. Because all the
okay.
time travel stuff, that's all really consistent.
Yeah,
And that's all-
always the important
When
thing.
things are dropping
Yeah.
out of like when things are going to be contradicting themselves, they stop existing, and that's why memory loss is an
It
element.
sticks to the
Yeah.
rules.
And it's like-
time travel. And it's,
Absolutely.
Oh my
it doesn't
God, you
like,
guys-
oh,
which
this
is
that's
the
what
most
sticks to the
important
rule.
about time travel in the story.
And that's the bit that I think should be rewarded. It's not just that it made you feel something; it's that the rules are consistent, and the effort that they took to make this feel like an immersive experience, and that it is actually happening. That is like something that is rewarded,
Yeah.
and that's something that the story acknowledges and
Yeah.
is aware of.
And like honestly,
the
time
feels
travel.
are actually built on something.
I
It's
feel
not
like time
just
travel gets a
empty
bad rap in movies and stuff because so many people they set their rules and then they ignore them. So
Yeah.
the story's bad. But when it's done well, because like again, while I didn't love the movie, I appreciate what it was doing. So especially the time travel stuff. I think time travel allows you to have some of the best kind of twists you could have in a story, as long as you set your rules and you stick to them. Because like especially when you get the moment when she meets him 3 years before and he who she is.
Yeah.
Like that's like you already know it's coming, but it's still an emotional moment because you know that she hasn't realized it yet.
Yeah, and he didn't know. He's like, "Oh, we're for good luck,"
no,
but
that's
he's
why
just
it's so
like
good.
he doesn't remember why.
Exactly, yeah.
It's so good because and as you, the audience, are like experiencing the character, you're experiencing at the same time he experienced.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
dawning realization.
And
Oh
it's,
shit, I do know.
and it's the same kind of thing as like what we talked about before about like it's not quite an unreliable narrator, but because you are experiencing it from each of their perspective, it kind of is at the same time. And that, like as I said before, I really like that idea of an unreliable narrator when it's done well, and I think but it also wasn't the focus of it.
Let's ask what is the other good time travel?
I don't think
No,
there's-
Back to the Future just had washing it.
Okay, was there any other films that had time travel in it that you got that made sense or that was good?
No,
no.
No, wow, okay.
Not one.
Not most of the time when I think about time travel, like video games and
Okay.
Don't talk about the
Oh, I thought you were
They
saying
have
Age
more
of
time
Tomorrow.
to flesh it out.
Oh,
You got the Age of Tomorrow?
oh yeah.
We haven't got, but I do just want to say I really enjoyed that the time travel.
Okay.
Let's right. No, we're gonna go down a hole here. Let's stop.
Okay.
Alec,
Let's
what you
keep
were
on
saying?
this. Let's talk about.
I do just want to say that I really love that the time travel is an element that allows like the story to like build on itself.
Yeah.
And it's with characters like it's not all in favor of Taki, and it's not all in favor of
You can do it.
Mitsuha. They kind of complement each other. Like it's not like just one. It's not like he's got to save the girl
Yeah.
kind of thing. They like they're both influencing each other through time.
Yeah, and
Like
like you
time
say,
travel
it's-
is integral to that, and they wouldn't react the same ways that they would if the time travel wasn't an element.
Yeah.
and
The
that's
relationship
what
is
comes.
because of it.
And the important thing that you said there is that the time travel is an element. It's not, even though the time travel is quite big, it's not focused. Like the movie isn't called like, oh, time traveling. Like it's not. It's not. You know what I mean?
Oh no, time traveling!
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I haven't watched it, but like the time traveler's wife or whatever. Like there are things that make it the main point that you should be focusing on. Whereas really, it is just a storytelling, and that's what they do here, and they do it well.
Yeah, but it's nice the fact that he doesn't actually like when he comes back. Obviously, he's doing the whole movie growth bloody crime thing. But
Like such a Western trope.
oh, don't. That's the
Wow,
only
but
thing
that
I
is
don't
not
like.
Western.
That's not what it's
They
about.
ain't-
That's a teenage young boy hoping.
Can I
And
say?
she's happy she's alive, but they're not your food.
Can I
mean, in
just
that
say
moment,
that
are
that
they?
is hilarious every single time they do it. That is
Yeah.
they do that joke like 4 times, and it is. It gets funny.
It did make me laugh.
Each
Had a
single
little
time
tears, and
do it.
He goes, "No, I've got to know this
She's
person.
alive,
I'm not gonna.
thank
I'm
God."
not gonna feel her tits." And absolute very next shot.
Yeah. It's nice the fact that like he goes back, but he's actually happy to see that the little girl's alive as well, like the sister. So it's nice. It's nice the fact that he's not like, okay, I must save her. No one else. He's actually built a relationship with all of them. So he actually wants to save the entire town,
Yeah.
which is
People
nice.
support to her.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. I think that's an achievement of the film itself. You could quite like cynically, you could quite easily go, "This is a bad man. He's touching somebody else's boobs.
Yeah.
All perverts are created equal, but he's bad."
Yeah.
But
that's the
it's
thing with-
really innocent. It
Yeah.
wraps it up in
It's
a
just-
really nice way.
Pure
Every
happiness.
every single guy here would do it.
Oh,
Every
absolutely.
single
Oh yeah,
person.
absolutely.
I don't know when I'm getting this again.
Look.
I mean, I do. I have.
Coming from a woman's perspective, trust me, if I had one of those, I'd love to stand up and pee. Not gonna lie, I'd just be like, I'll just sit and go hands free
you'd be more concerned.
everywhere.
Dan,
Where's he gone?
they're boobs.
That'll be the first thing you
That
see.
would be the first thing, but you'd go like, when?
But then,
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
Coral,
it goes on.
you've had them for how long now? I think you're used to them by
I've had
now.
them a while.
Yeah.
I've had them a while. I'm just like,
But the-
yeah, they're all right.
But yeah, I think.
Is that what
one-
you
one-
me?
I will
one of
tell
the
you though,
best
gravity is a pain
So
in
they
the ass.
completely
Oh,
different.
I will say that. I think you're right. I think the film was missing one scene, and it was just him going, "I ain't got no."
To be fair, that is another trope that they do in any kind of like gender swap thing.
It's always-
The woman will always be like, "Where are and then the guy will be like, "I've got
I'm not
wait,
gonna
where
lie.
is it?" And then like they'll be like, "It's gone."
I'm not gonna lie. If I woke up with one, I would be kind of shocked, but at the same time, I'd be like, right, I'm
You'd only
gonna
be
go to
kind
the
of
toilet now.
To be honest,
Well,
you know,
very shocked.
obviously, I don't see this as an actual negative. It only works if you're trying to go for like a comedy. The main thing that would happen if you switched bodies is you'd immediately fall over when you stood up because you wouldn't know how to walk in that body. Like all your weight
That is a good
distribution would be off.
That's a man without strong hips.
Man alive.
We're on the perfect.
But no, one of the things I
Needs to
really
walk with a crane.
one of the things I really liked in the story was that they didn't explain how the evacuation happened, because I think
Yeah.
trying to work out a way that a girl convince the like leader of this place
Oh,
to
her brother,
convince
right?
everyone else to leave would have just been quite convoluted. So instead, it was just like, oh, we show her looking serious and genuine, and
Yeah, I did feel that was a bit jarring at first because like she
Yeah,
convinces everyone like
It struck me as something that Ben, Pat, and Rob like concoct, because it was like, Ben, you're obviously on like the little you're on the communication bit.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to do this. And it's like Pat's like, I'm in charge of explosives. It's like, yeah. And then Rob's like, I'll talk to the mayor. And I was like, done.
and then I'll sleep with the mountain somewhere.
So I forgot one little thing. You haven't just got the going back to the Tinkerwinkle. You've not just got that. You've also got
You're
like,
really fixated.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
It's just a piece of meat to you, isn't it?
Yes, but if I go sit down
and he
I
sat down
clap
wrong.
my ball, that's gonna hurt.
I
And
mean,
then
yeah,
I'm
but
gonna
let's be honest.
I
realise-
hit once, then he
Yeah,
You'd
but I'm
notice
like,
before
when
you
I
sat
don't learn
down.
how to walk, I'm just gonna be like, okay, don't smush them, don't
Well,
smush
Coral,
them.
think
Stand
of it this way: balls are really tiny boots. So once
Well,
you've got them,
I'm gonna let you all in a secret. They kill as well.
yeah,
So,
exactly. So you'd be
If
used
you
to
hear
it.
one of those, I'm gonna be a leave it alone. So yeah,
That's right. I'm glad that was all.
yeah. Also, again,
Oh, for the Lord's sake.
hit there with a ball.
No, it's okay. This is your soapbox, and it's
I think this
Welcome
might
to my TED Talk.
I think this might
No,
turn
it's
into
not
a
your
therapy session.
Welcome to our TED Talk. Even though I'm the only one with boobs, so you know.
Well, hang on.
excuse me. He's
There-
right here.
There's several other people here with
Leave me out of this. I'm just here for the boobs.
for the what, Pat?
For the boobs. Today.
I'll go for Checkos.
Prosecco. You get some hand with that.
No, it's like floating in my brain.
This is Helen.
I'm just drinking it.
I've had four prosciuttos.
Oh, just after you said that, it looks good and saw the plate of cocktails.
Okay. But yeah, like again, I really appreciate being able to watch it in cinema format. And also, I think it's been a while since I've watched. I don't know, like, I say it's been a while. I feel like it's been a while since I've watched a Japanese animation film. Like, and there's many things like obviously culturally in the film that happen because that's just what's natural to them.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that will remind me that I'll be like, oh yeah, I've been to that place, or oh yeah, there's that memory about that place, or there's this thing about that anime kind of reference to this, or whatever kind of thing is happening, and it kind of just triggers all these memories, and I kind of forget. It's like, yeah,
What's really nice these days, that first of all, like when we were young, apart from like never see an animated, like a Japanese animated film. And so
yeah,
translation has come across without like and
yeah,
so that the actual intent comes across properly.
yeah. The
Because there's so many
translation in
things-
this was really good.
Well, that's the thing. There's so many things to
Yeah.
watch or play where you know even a little bit Japanese. You're
You're
like,
like,
that's not
wait.
what they said, and that actually changes their character.
Yeah.
It changes their personality, their motivation. So now that we're like at a point where usually translations are good, it actually lets the message come across properly rather than being like,
Yeah,
especially like even with the jokes. Obviously, like you said, there's jokes that literally can't be translated, so they have to just do something that kind of like is sort of
Yeah.
adjacent to it. But the way they used to do it is they just random nonsense joke it, and it would make no sense.
exactly.
contextually
It's
at
like-
all.
However, there are jokes like what we were talking about earlier, where he says the wrong gender name, like the wrong gender term. They look at him like, "Hang on,
yeah,
what?" And he
Yeah.
goes, "Oh, sorry, it's
But again,
Yeah.
that's
I don't-
something.
I can't-
That's something that like literally the only way you can do that with an English voice actor and then like speaking in a girly tone, and then like getting deeper. You can't do that otherwise.
You
We
could-
don't have that.
Yeah.
So that's the only way they could do it.
What is the difference?
So
So-
Watashi is like,
It's
polite.
yeah, polite, formal.
Yeah.
And
and
then
then Boku is like for a young boy,
yeah,
and
and
Ore is for like a slightly older, like
yeah, but it's also depends on what region you're in
yeah,
because they say afterwards, oh, it sounds like you have like an accent, like
Yeah.
like in
a dialect.
yeah, dialect, and they say I differently in different dialects of
Yeah.
Japan, and obviously the girl is trying to figure out how he would
Yeah.
how
Trying to
he's
think
meant
how
to say
he's
I,
yeah,
yeah, which region is he?
which
in?
is why that seems really good because she says Boku, and they go, and then she says Ore, and then it's like, okay, that's what I'll go with then.
But it's like imagine you. I don't know, like because it's obviously not like comparable to us, but like if you were like French or something, and someone started using the female kind of pronouns for
Yeah,
themselves, and
exactly.
you're going like, hang on, that's not.
Is there something you need to tell me?
Yeah.
But I love that scene where she goes, I need to go to work, and they're like, to go to work, and then she's like,
Where's my work?
where do I work? And they're like, what the
Yeah,
what the
and then
fuck are
you
you
have
talking about?
then you have like not quite to the same degree, but the same thing when he like gets dressed as her to go to school, and they're like, "Are you wearing a uniform?" And then they show like the autumn things, and obviously they're a break.
Yeah.
That's what this is to symbolize.
I do really like those things where like, you just have like those little like where there's the bit about he has to work so much to spend it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's like,
That's
Well, that's the thing, right? Again,
Yeah.
during the fact that I like this person enjoy it, I do think that they still respect your intelligence. Like, for example, like what I was just saying,
There's no
that scene
cap
where
where
it's like, "Oh, why are you wearing your school?" They don't say, "Oh, there's no school today." They don't go, "Oh, school's on break." They just cut to like autumn stuff. So obviously go autumn. Oh, they're on break. Need to go to school. That's why it's weird.
yeah.
It's one of those things.
They go walking.
No, everything's so intentional. That you only need like a still to get what's going on.
I do also just want to point out, I made a bit of an error with budgets.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I made an error with the budgets
A big
page.
grade error.
I clocked this. That I thought the budget was 380.15 billion, which would have absolutely eclipsed Coco and Wally. I really Ben then very helpfully pointed out that I was reading the box office scores. However, I did very confidently assert I believe that it cost 315 million to do this, and I stand by that because I think the animation's fucking glorious.
I think you should mention though that 380 million would have been 190 times its actual budget.
Yeah, because that was it. Yeah,
I would mention it, but you've done that. Yeah.
What is it like? It's like what?
Oh no! Sorry, that was in dollars, didn't
No,
you?
no, I know. Now we
what's it about? Like,
Hang on, you don't decide. That.
it's already happened.
No, it's not.
Oh, yeah, well, it's not.
I'm doing it right now,
It's
motherfucker.
like, is it 100 or is it 1,000?
I can't remember, but
I think like a pound is like 100 something yen. It's the
yeah,
general. It's
about
like
roughly.
I think that's
ballpark.
right,
But it's like or like $13.40.
I mean, that's not
so
13
Crones,
point Nordic dollars.
Crones. That's in pounds. That's it.
I was going to say, do you mean crowns?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch
Right.
it.
You just get 3 old raggedy with it and throw them out.
It's $2.8 million. Yeah.
Yeah, but what was it in yen? Oh no, sorry.
Oh, but what
I'm
was
reading
the
the box office
actual? How much did it actually cost them?
It cost
2.8
2.8.
million.
Okay.
That's pretty cheap.
But anime, yeah.
No, of course, no, it's not. There's a lot of money to us, not to a production team.
Really small compared to what we've actually got.
Yeah, like, particularly for anime. Like, people think that, you know, doing all these on-scene shots and like
you
car
really?
explosions.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's obviously costs a lot more, which, you know, sometimes it does. But the amount of money that has to go into the software and like the man hours to make, because it's not like
but it's not
one person did this scene. It's like one person did that individual drop one person did that ripple,
Yeah.
and one person did the water itself.
Exactly.
Just watching,
The light,
just watching
the shadows.
water tube drop off that leaf.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
much,
and like
right?
someone had to individually do the spider web and how it reacts. Someone was doing how the
Oh,
water reacts
right,
to
yeah,
the spider web.
yeah. So the production being in your Hall of Fame was perfect because you saw the rain on the spider web, you saw the bigger drop of rain hit the spider web, and the rain
Yeah.
would fall off the spider.
Imagine
web.
having
That's
to
like, how the fuck do
animate
you do
that.
that?
And draw
No.
most of the frames.
Frame by frame.
Yeah, I think there's
Because-
a few frames on
The challenge is
there
I'm
was a lot
watching
of-
I'm watching cartoon characters and the environment's reacting so realistically around them. I'm like, fuck man, this is happening in real. Like this
That's
is
the
a
thing,
real
even though it's
sorry.
very
I was just say from like an art point of view, when they got the big expansive, you think, oh god, they painted that, and then it moves in, and that's each different frame.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
each
It's a
bit
lot.
is just like I'm sitting there like, wow,
Yeah, exactly.
because that's why I give it 10,
bang.
just because
Oh,
like
so
even the thing that really got me was when the doors closed. And that perspective of that,
Oh, you mean of,
perspective of how realistic that door closed.
Yeah.
That's like a really tiny detail, and I could see like
Yeah.
how
Well, the
realistic that
attention
was.
to detail was absolutely.
Or even like just the significance that he's wearing the wristband, and it's like he doesn't even know necessarily why he's wearing the wristband.
It's just
But
something
he
he's
knows
always done.
he says that he wears it sometimes. It's like it's just this kind of instinctual thing that he does, and he knows it's good. So he just does it, and it's not even anything he devotes that much thought to. He
Well,
just knows
that's
that
the
it's
thing.
That's because he can't.
That's what I was
That's
going to say
he
earlier on,
physically can't.
when you said about time travel. For this film, they didn't didn't milk it. But most time travel films, they'll do the old, oh, we're going to save the day, but then they won't kind of logically work it out. Whereas this, when we're going to save the day, but no one remembers what actually happened.
That's the thing, even
It's
more
just,
important than that, it's not just
step
that
back.
other things won't logically work it out. They will not logically work it out and then have a celebration about it. Whereas, like you said, with this, they show you the logistics of it, and then everyone just gets on with their lives.
Yeah.
Nothing abnormal happens.
But
It's a matter of fact.
and the thing that kind of makes it a bit fantastical is the fact that they actually recognise each other.
Yeah.
Because most time you wouldn't recognise if you had that time travel does it, they wouldn't recognise each other at all, and then it'll just end and it'll be
Well, that's
bit-
the
Yeah, they
disappointing.
That's the
that's the
spirit.
red
Yeah.
They knew.
whatever it was, string was it?
Vesuvius.
String.
Yeah, string.
That's the red string of fate. Like that's the whole point. Like
Yeah,
because
whole thing that
even if
connects
you
them.
ignore all the like time travel stuff, the idea that you have to pass by this person on this exact day at this exact time in this exact mood to have that moment, like that's what that's like. That's why it works.
It's just such a you thing. It's Musubi, and it's like this connecting element. You're like, is it a string?
No,
No,
because, no, Alex,
I just really like that. String?
Alex,
String?
Musubi-
To me, it's interchangeable.
Musubi's a concept.
Yeah.
The red string of fate is a well-known Japanese culture.
Yeah.
thing.
But I'd go, hey, it's Musubi. And I'd go, hey, no
But then
worries.
you
I get what you
but
mean by
then
that.
you
And you're
do
like,
that.
is it a string? Is it a chord? But I
Yeah,
just-
but
Well,
you can't just say
technically it's a
Musubi because that's
threat,
a general
but
concept. The
Yeah,
red string of
Yeah,
fate
it's
is
correct.
specific
They're
thing.
It's just a really simplistic kind of
I,
simple.
I,
You do it.
I will enjoy it up my own soul. You'll like it too.
That's an
Wait, how
option.
much Fred do you want to pop your arsehole?
All right, cut the
Okay,
video.
we've done this now. I feel like
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
We've had a near most embarrassing
Alright,
moment on the stream.
Ben,
Ben's got his work cut out from that.
Yes,
I
no.
didn't hear what you.
Yeah,
I
Ben,
missed something. It's good.
it's good. Ben Hyunwong.
No, I think that's what was the strength of the film to me. Is that it starts off.
Ben's you no. Ben's the best man. You shut up.
Well, another one.
Up your butt.
Are you
Oh, it's gonna.
proposing?
You just say you don't
It's
know.
just confusing. I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
know.
not. I'm
Yeah.
glad you hear.
So I think the strength of the film for me is that it starts off like Rob mentioned. It's quite jarring, and it kind of seems a bit like something you'd probably expect, or like something you'd predict, and something you'd see before, basically. Like standard body swap comedy, romantic drama, and I think that's what would have been its downside if it stayed in that format, and if it was very non-consequential and stuff like that. But then, as the film progresses, and the film evolves as it goes on. that it's just it's time travel aspect of it really into a second gear, and the more it goes on, think back as it goes as the film is in progress, and you realize to yourself actually there's a lot more going on with the eye. And think to yourself, this.
We just needed to not do it one time.
And I feel that it had what it made for me that more interesting than your average like anime romantic drama is because of the depth and the nuance of the characters and how they use time travel to not just like enhance the story but kind of enhance their relationship.
Yeah.
And it's how they both learnt how each other's personality without actually to them, and they kind of knew who they also knew that stakes were quite high. And all those things factor into how they would eventually collide. The whole arcs that characters eventually collide into a way that it not only it makes Destiny kind of like as cheesy as it can be, but I think it kind of like makes it wanted and kind of like everything about their relationship is unearned, I feel, because of the like struggles they go through to get to it.
Yeah.
So that makes it.
Right, the journalists?
Yeah,
We're all good, thanks.
So that's why I think it might be a film that I will revisit again. Because the more I think about it, is that actually that was quite a clever trope. That was a clever way to use this idea, a clever way to like use time travel in a way to instead of just being a gimmick, it actually influences the relationship. That's my
Nice.
Sorry about that. I just okay.
How dare you smash that wonderful fucking speech with The Witcher?
But anyway,
Sorry. Anyways.
but yeah, they managed to change fate. Or was that what was?
Oh, I
Maybe
love
that's what
no.
the world
I
wanted to happen.
I love how
That's another trope.
I love how subtle it is because I remember on the first watch of this thinking, oh man, that fucking comet, that prick. Why are you doing this to these poor people?
2 times.
And it was
in
like,
20th century.
I'm gonna let the, and this thing is they say it they make a point of saying it. It goes around every 1200 years, and it's like, and they make a point of showing it, and it's like, man, like yeah, every time this comet is in like a certain trajectory, these lives get affected, and it's like, man, that's brilliant. I love that. And yeah, like they said, it's all kind of like a
Wonderful.
I got it.
Yeah, to be honest, there was one like millisecond where I thought that
Oh, 9 o'clock. You go wait for the rest of it.
it's 9 o'clock, everybody.
So
Well,
what's your-
yeah, there was like a millisecond where I thought they were doing a bait and switch time travel thing. Because they kept going on about how often the comet goes around. Like we'd already worked out that they weren't in the same timeline and that she's in the past, he's in the future. But then I thought for a second they were trying to do another bait and switch to find out he's actually it's the opposite and he's like way earlier than and then there was just like, oh no, that's not what it is. But there was like a small millisecond where I was like, oh, they could do that.
Yeah,
Can I
That would
just-
have made it more
I
confusing.
thought that the first time as well. I was like, wait, are they? Oh, they're not. Because I wasn't sure how far apart they were
Exactly,
the first
yeah.
time watching it. Because I was like, okay, because but wait, they both have phones, or is he just that far in the future?
Well, that's the thing, because
Yeah.
we also, because this is like technically, although it's based on the real world, we don't know the fact that there's time travel shows that is outside of our realm there. So for all we know, like that long ago, they saw it folks. Like,
Yeah,
I think
so-
that was quite clever about it, the time periods they chose wasn't like obvious because that's made you
Yeah.
keep guessing.
yeah, because one was in the countryside.
Because it was like,
exactly,
oh,
and one was in
dial-up.
the cities, which the
Yeah.
countryside doesn't change all that much over
Yeah.
the years.
Yeah,
Whereas
and
the
they was
city
using
does.
like a boombox.
Yeah.
For like the
But you know, the most important thing about it, they don't tell you what happens afterwards, which is that because they saved people's lives, death wants revenge, and then it starts coming after them individually.
And it turns out the TVA were behind it all.
And then the comet
And
the
it's
comet
massive.
actually comes back around instead of splitting off, a whole thing hits the earth, and
Huey's main thing.
Because I was honestly with Coral on these. so I
John, have
was-
you watched Wolverine with
Hang
you?
on, hang on, hang on. Say something.
I was with Coral on these. Like I was sitting there going like, "Oh, please, fucking just me! Like fucking hell,
Yeah,
we've gone
okay.
through so much shit.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
come on,
I
man."
must say, it was at the end. It was just like, don't do this.
I was like, "Don't make this end this way." And I was like, "I would respect the
Yeah.
absolute balls out of you if you did, but
Well, the fact
please don't."
It's like the fact when they go up the stairs
And
and
they
they go
just
down, and I'm just like, don't stop. And then they turn around.
Yeah, because the fact they got
What's
the bloody
going on?
train, that should be
And I
like.
was just like, thank God, because that would have been so irritating. That would have literally, the impact would have gone.
John, go back to your comment. Have you watched Wolverine with you yet?
Yeah.
His next movie.
Oh no, I haven't seen it.
Okay, never mind. We won't go into spoilers for that yet. Then, because
Oh no, I definitely can't guess kind of what you were going to say by basing my
You're
comment
using
on
too
asking
many
that.
tropes, you idiot.
Oh, man.
He's seen this one before.
He foreshadows something in the first film. Second film. It's not a big thing. It's literally just a link. It's not even a spoiler.
In a park.
in the second.
It doesn't really matter.
But basically, I'll tell you, it's not a spoiler because you literally see it as soon as you start the film. It's just a setting. But basically, when he's in his job interview and he's saying, "You don't know what can happen. I don't know. Tokyo could go underwater," which is actually a valid concern for many years about Tokyo being quite close to sea level and sea level rising, and most of it being underwater. But in that film, Weathering with You, like I think it's like 5 years later,
But obviously, yeah.
it does a lot of it goes underwater.
That's right.
Yeah,
It was
so
in Japan all along.
so his actually applying for that job is kind of makes sense.
Yeah, but you see him in the actual movie as well, right?
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. You just see him for a little bit, but it's two different characters.
They're both cameos in the movie, so it's fine. So it gives it a full circle. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's in the same world but different characters.
I did want to clarify something. Because well, the first time I watched it, I drew issue with that he runs into someone from Itamori, and I was like,
That's someone.
how many mountainous regions are there in Japan?
A
That
lot.
he's just fucking
Yeah,
picked
it's more than
one.
thing.
And then I noticed, he's actually seen like an art gallery
Yeah.
of the Hida
So,
Mountains. And I was
yeah.
like, so he's
Like,
investigating these.
The reason he was where he was to find those people was because it was based on all the research he'd done. and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
That was the only reason it happened.
Yeah,
So I
he
thought
was-
it was one of those things where I was like, it's not
Very-
a break here, but I was like, this is a bit of a coincidence.
Yeah, like
with,
depending on how you look at it, it's quite controlled, but it's
No,
not
no,
because they built it up.
Yeah.
yeah. I was like, knowing he's actually like looking at these and seeing references,
Yeah.
it's like, oh right, no,
Yeah.
he's kind of informed where he is.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because he knew it was in the Hida Mountain region. So he then went to obviously that region and then asked the locals and kept getting
Yeah.
closer and closer until
You
They-
met a Brahmin.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because
and then
no-
the reason he couldn't like match it up with real life is because it didn't look that way anymore.
exactly.
Yeah.
So no one really knew, but obviously that guy knew, must have visited there from
Oh, no,
time to
he
time.
was born there.
Yeah, he was
Oh,
doing it. Remember,
yeah, I
they said,
forgot.
they said
So
not
I looked up mountain ranges in Japan, and they're all kind of like next to each other.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
was like, I feel free to like contradict me on that. But
No.
you
There's a
are-
lot of
Alex, my contradiction is that you're absolutely correct.
yeah, there's a lot of
That's the
undeveloped
plot
land.
twist.
Exactly.
That's not a John line. That's happy.
Who are you? Oh no,
Yeah.
someone's in my body.
We're all gonna die.
It's one of those fortunate things, but it's also he got close.
Yeah.
So he was actually really close to it. It's just that if he didn't go to that place, which was probably one of the closest restaurants near there,
Yeah.
no one would
as
have.
long as he did.
This is
Yeah, no one would have actually gone. Oh yeah, recognize that. That's
His level of care.
this is an example. If you're someone who says every film gets worse the more you look at it, no, that's actually not true. If you look at stuff and it's actually constructed well, things get better.
Yeah,
So-
the only films that get worse the more you view it are ones that have bad ratings.
Yeah,
Like your
Lots
next,
of hope.
which was picked by Humphrey.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
I
I don't know. No, saying that.
Your next twist.
Don't get me wrong. I appreciate
I'm not
some of the actual physical
Oh.
effects
Fucking hell.
and stuff that happened in it. I just dislike.
Yeah, but
No,
it's
it was
not
a
meant
terrible
to be,
film.
It's not meant to be a good film.
Well, it's not meant to have like an amazing story.
So we're not talking about that shit anymore. We're talking about your name.
It's different.
Not your next, your name.
There's a hyphen.
Yeah.
What? Oh no, you're hyphen in your next.
You mean apostrophe?
Yeah.
We've got an apostrophe.
Like, where's the hyphen?
Your
Hyphen is
next. Your
I'll talk to you about it after.
It's the suspense behind.
no, there was no suspense in it. The hyphen was non-existent.
They tripped up over it.
I should have brought up your next. It's confused the whole
Is
thing.
that okay?
Sorry.
You should have brought up my next.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But thank you.
Just gonna
You know, it's been a while. I thought
she's
you might
having
be
the
checking it.
biggest shit snow.
Some of it.
You know, man.
Yeah,
Well,
this-
no, it's not that. It's just like what you do on live stream about someone else's shit.
Coral's having a big shit, everybody.
Oh,
sensitive.
I think that's-
What's your film, Ben? Quick, you're running out of time.
The next film for Film Club is Men in Black.
Wonderful.
Which
What's
one?
your-
Wait, really?
Which one?
Okay.
Which one?
Quick.
Men in Black the first.
The original. But do you think the
Emmanuel,
original
run that time, quick.
Oh, yeah, true. The original, the
Yeah,
remake.
you got to be distinct. The original.
Men in
The
Black, the 1995 version.
Okay.
I knew that's one.
Do you acknowledge this quick one good time?
The
Well, acknowledgements.
Oh,
Everyone, this was awesome.
Yeah, I guess-
really love this.
Choosing your name was better than
Rob.
choosing, the other film. The Gone Girl.
the